Today we're gonna be building a dog kennel out of this, and I have my assistant here.
Yep.
So let him know what we're doing.
So we're building a cage for Steve's dog. Steve's going on a cruise. So we're going to just build the cage for the dog.
So first thing, we're gonna open this up.
Yep.
And
First
see.
thing we're going to open up. So we're going to do something, and we're going to build a cage, right? For Sasha, the dog. I told you about. So we're going to do that for Sasha.
Let me cut this through here because I'm not gonna get to that tape in the bottom.
So we're going to do something, right, Garvey?
All right, let's get this off.
Why is yours purple?
I don't know, but you're sitting on the thing that I gotta take off, buddy.
Why is yours purple?
Can I get this off?
Why is yours purple? Huh?
I don't know. They come in different colors. So let's see how easy or difficult. This is from Academy Sports.
Yep.
And let's see how this gets built, this kennel.
Yep.
How user-friendly they made it.
Yep.
But it's pretty cool because it's not chain link. It's, you know, these rectangulars like 2x4.
Yep.
That's kind of neat. Because the ones they sell at Home Depot that are more expensive, this one thing is under 200. The Home Depot ones are like 300 and something, 400.
Yep.
Oh, it even brings a tarp. And I didn't order it, my cousin did, that's why I have no clue what this entailed. But I'm gonna be watching he needed one of these anyways, but I'm gonna be watching his dog, so he brought this so I could keep it in the kennel.
So when I press this button, it disconnect.
This is pretty cool.
Turns off. It turns off when I press this.
Don't press it because then you might disconnect it, so don't press the button.
Then it'll turn off the video. The video will turn off.
No, but it'll turn off the microphone that no one's gonna hear you talk.
Okay. So why is yours purple?
I have no clue.
Did you press it?
Oh, hold on. Let me check something out. All right, let me look at the manual and see the first step. For anyone trying to build this, it says apply the end caps to the bottom of the panel and how to distinguish between the upper and lower parts. The raised square tube on the upper part is shorter. So that means on the longer legs, we're gonna put all those little end caps that should be inside a bag. And it said to use a rubber mallet. So let's open that bag and get started. This looks very heavy duty, by the way. This thing is heavy. Heavy steel. I thought it was gonna be, since it's cheaper than the Home Depot ones, like rinky dink. But this box is heavy. Like 2 people struggle to carry it. I mean, it'd be a struggle for 2 people to carry it. Just to have it on the dolly and move it around. It's very heavy. So then, what this said was that the longer legs, little stick outs, go down. So that's how much sticks out. So I noticed that one over there is like a 1/2 inch. This one has a whole inch sticking out. So to the bottom is this one. The one with the whole inch sticking out. And it says to use a rubber mallet, which is, it's good, but I can tell you right now, you can use a regular mallet. Nothing's gonna happen. Well, because I'm not taking it apart, I can't get to the middle one, I need to cut these tie straps in and have them all apart to be able to do that middle one. At least easily. But I was trying to keep them all together for now. To keep the mess less likely to become a big mess. Let's see if I can get that middle one again, because it's hard to hammer being in the middle. Yep, I got it. Okay. Where do I put this? Right here out the way. Now over here, this is upside down because, well, it's the right way, but it's upside down for what I need to do, since I need to put it at the bottom. That longer one, the one that's about an inch, it's on the bottom here. So let me flip it over. And I put that cardboard there just to protect it from scratching that top part. You know, that paint is nice, so don't want to scratch it up. Let me move this a little bit closer here. So, here we go. Let's got a bunch of these here. So you can do it with a regular hammer, just don't go at it super hard because you could break the plastic, but yeah, I've done these before without it. I thought it was going to be more sensitive when it's calling for a rubber mallet. Again, this is going to be the top part, so let's flip this over. Oh, let me make some space on this piece of cardboard here, so that when I hammer again, I don't scratch the top part against the concrete. We've got one more set in there. And let me measure how big this is, because this is only temporary for a couple of days here. I might not have to make it all the panels. There are 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 panels. They're a little bit over 3 feet tall. All right, 3 feet wide. So instead of 12, I've used 9. It'll be like, I could use 2 to make it 6 feet wide, 6 and change. And then in length, I could do it, 4 will give me I got 2, 4 on each side. It's gonna give me no, it's really long. 3. I'm gonna have to use 3. 12 feet. So it'll be 12 by 6. How in the world is this? This thing said that if to make a 10 by 10. There's 3, 6. There's 12. There's 3. Oh yeah, it is. It's 9 by 9, basically. Well, a little bit more. They're 3 inches, 3 feet 2 inches. So I can make it 6 by 12. Again, this is only for a couple of days. And we'll be letting the dog out. It's just when it's not gonna be out at night and stuff to put it away. 12, yeah, that'll be good. So I'll use 3 panels. I'll leave one of that set. I'll leave that set away. All right. That one can stay in there. And then it even has, which I'm not gonna do it here because the whole thing is even gonna go underneath a covered lean-to that has multiple sides covered. But actually the bars are in here to make the arc for the roof to put that tarp. So it has its own roof, but see in there? It's just zip tied to this other panels. So yeah, it's really good because it has a roof and everything, but we're not gonna have to use that. So let's go now to the part. And later I guess we gotta put on all those caps to the other side too. So I don't know why I said to do that first and I just put them all over now that I think about it, because there's a whole load of those caps left over. That means that the top uses that same cap. So next step, it says to start with the corner, apply the bracket from top down. That front panel will attach in front of the side panel. See how that works out. And then it says that it's with these. Oh, we don't need this. Just like stakes to attach it to the ground, kind of like when you do a tent at the beach. And also, let me show you, and a bunch of zip ties, which I'm already assuming without getting to the manual that is to hold down the tarp. And these are just stakes that go up and turn, so they're about a foot long and then 4 inches extra that turn it right back around to grab this cage to the ground. So we're not gonna use that. We just need these attachments now. Did I miss one? Yep. Actually, I missed two. And they even come with little cardboards in between each frame here and on both sides. Incredible to keep them from rubbing against each other. I mean, normally you don't see this type of quality packing. And on both sides, top and bottom. All right. So I'll flip this over because that is the bottoms. Now this is gonna go like so. I'll just do it on this side since I'm already gonna be working here with the other tools. And then it has these attachments here. Damn. So this whole bag, which is heavy, has all these brackets that have two sides. And it says, I noticed there in a glimpse that the flat side, which makes sense, goes outside, and then the other one, the curvy one, inside. So let me figure this out. Yep, exactly like that. So they're gonna create a gap in between them. Should have opened this bag before I started moving things around. Wow, I'm working a little bit backwards here. Should have opened the bags first. Now I gotta hold this at the same time, and makes it that much difficult. All right, so the curved one to the inside, because obviously it looks better like that. And then this come with this is called a carriage bolt, which means the outside is flush. There's no holding it with anything because the inside of it has a square. I'll go and show it in a minute over there, close up. And then a butterfly nut. So you don't even need tools so far. So I'm gonna make this video into a review actually because I like it. It's nice. It's simple, heavy duty. I mean, if anybody complains, I gotta look at the reviews, but this is strong. I mean, you can have the meanest dog in here and it's not gonna get out. This is not rinky-dink or, cheapy made or nothing. So the way those two little brackets, and let me go get one. So you can see why you don't need tools here. And when I get to the panel in the front, I'll have the camera closer. But there's a flat one, and there's this curved one. The curved one goes in the inside, and it holds one of those beams go here and the other one here. And then it squishes them like that. And then the reason you don't need any tools is because this is called a carriage bolt. This I know for a fact, that you don't gotta hold, there's no nut here, or hex, so you can grab onto it with a socket. The inside is square, and that locks into there, so it can't spin. So that's why you don't have to hold it with anything. And then you don't need a tool for the other side because you have this, if I'm not mistaken, it's called a butterfly nut. At least that's how I've learned it. And then I didn't pay attention to if it said whether that nut goes in or out. But aesthetically, I could assume that the nut is gonna go in because you want the nice flush thing, of the actual, this carriage bolt to go out. Now, I don't know if it said, but it's how far. Do you want to put this all the way down or one up? I would say at least one up so that you don't have such a long gap between all the way down and all the way to the top that, there's nothing else holding in between. Because actually, let me look at the manual, make sure that doesn't require, there's enough to put one in the middle. But if not, I would say not to put in the extreme, to skip at least one of these rectangles, so not to be all the way in the top and all the way in the bottom. So just to keep from there being flexing if an animal wants to push, Even though, again, this is not cheap. I mean, I wouldn't put a lion in here, a tiger, but definitely any dog would do. Says here, start with the corner, apply a bracket from top to the bottom. That front panel will be attached from the front side panel. Yeah, they don't go corner to corner. One overlaps the other, is what that means. Attach the next panel using the concave and flat bracket part. And sure enough, it shows it that, the flat part, like I seen on the picture, goes out. Now, it's showing it at both extremes. That doesn't mean that you have to do it like that. But it does show it at both extremes, but away. So it does show it on the furthest to the top and the furthest to the bottom. But on the top one, even though it's on the top one, it shows the furthest you could get to the bottom of that top one, and vice versa from the bottom one as high as you can on that bottom one. So basically here, but I could always put it here. I mean, and put it right in the middle. I feel more comfortable with that here, at least on the top one. The bottom one, yeah, at the edge, because animals can want to try to dig and bend at the bottom. But this one, I'm going to skip it and put it right here in the second one. because no animal can push all the way at the top, like even if it's a 200-pound dogo or some of these crazy big animals, you know. And this is just me using my common sense and not going 100% on that manual. But here on the bottom one, yeah, I'll go with the manual and put it on the last one, because here it would make sense. And then again, the way they have it is on the bottom one, but pushed as high as it can go on that bottom one. Now, although there's no tool requirements because it's butterfly nuts, there's a tool for when you're doing a lot of butterfly nuts. It's like a socket that goes over it. And I bought once one of them, and it was because on shutters in the house I had before, they had the butterfly nuts. And when you're doing, 30 windows, and each window has, 8 panels, and each panel has 4 bolts, it's like you don't want to do it by hand anymore. I gotta see if I find that tool. I haven't used that in years, because that'll make it easier to tighten up all these that I'm just gonna right now hand tighten. So I'm gonna make this the end. Hold on, got to flip this over, because I'm not gonna use all the panels, and I'm not gonna make this square. I'm gonna make like I said, a rectangle. So it's only gonna have 2 at the end. It's not gonna have 3, like to have 3 walls on each side. It's gonna have 2 walls, front and back, and then the sides are gonna be 3 deep. And of course, you start by doing a corner, and this is common sense why the directions, the instructions say to do that. And that's simple, it's because the way it holds itself, so you can start building. If you try to do, a whole side, then you would have to lean it against something to be able to get it to stand up. So yeah, definitely do a corner first, how the instructions say. That was a common sense one, an easy one. And of course, I could be doing this the long way of the shop, which is what looks correct to make, but because I happen to have that work table there, and just starting off of here, that's why I'm doing it this way, but I'll be moving it probably shortly. As it is, I gotta push it away from that side, because I won't be able to keep on building if I stay there. It's probably gonna take 3 of us, not 4 now once it's built, to move it to where it's gonna go, but I wanted to build it in the shop for convenience. So, as a matter of fact, let me start putting this the way it's gonna go. I almost busted my butt. This is the last one, because this is going to be the door. It's going to go on the skinny side of the rectangle. That door will be at the end. We'll hook it up. Yep. And this is a lot nicer looking than a chain link kennel, that's sold at, a bunch of hardware stores. This looks more like the horse fencing you know, the rectangle. But obviously with this, like, tubing that it has on the perimeter, I mean, this is really nice. I had no idea what my cousin was bringing me, but he made a good buy right here. I mean, if I was to need kennels, this is definitely what I would buy. Actually, I wonder if Amazon sells it too and all that, but wherever I find it cheaper, I'll put a link. Because I'm sure Amazon has it cheaper, like everything. I'll put a link so people can see it. Because I can tell you right now, this for me, this is I can see the quality, you know, like I'm not, I'm like a jack of all trades. That's why my channel is Last of All Trade. And based on my experience, I could already tell you, you know, I weld and I build things and fix everything. And I'm looking at all the welds, every single spot weld that I have seen what I'm building. It looks good, not sloppy where it missed, where it didn't go around. Like it's this, I'm surprised it's at the price that it is. It's probably some new manufacturer that's starting out and its price eventually will go up because this is built for what it is, for the money, for being, like I said, I think it was like just under $200. For this money, I see it kind of cheap. You know, like this is definitely worth more. This is good quality. You know, again, obviously it's not a $1,000 kennel, but within reason for the price, this should be a $300 to $400 and change. I would be pricing this at $350 to $450. And go check out the prices of kennels, even the chain link ones that they have, maybe either those or Home Depot. They could be anything looking close to this of chain link could be $300 and change, $400. And this is way better. First of all, it's not flexible like chain link. And aesthetically, forget it. It's night and day. I mean, I'd rather have this in my yard 20 times than some type of chain link kennel. Chain link just looks like, and I'm not trying to put anybody down or anything, but it just looks kind of like too basic. Like it's not pretty. It works, but it's not pretty. I mean, it's just the truth. Chain link is just something that works really good, and pricings are good. You know, when you do a chain link fence, but it's not. They're not the prettiest fence. I should have gone on the inside to do this. And the size of it. I mean, sometimes you see these kennels for like $300 something, and they are cheapy and small. Okay, I had an interruption, and I think I put this panel without even remembering to start recording again. I'm not sure, but basically I'm just continuing on with putting these brackets. And of course, like everything, if you had two people, it'd be a little bit quicker because, you know, you have somebody pushing the bolt from the outside. You don't have to put your fingers through these holes. And I'm going to show you the video, you know, how I'm putting these where this is just the way I'm doing it. You know, you don't got to do it like that. And I'm not tightening them right now. I'm going to tighten them at the end with, like I said, I'll see if I find that tool. But the top one, I'm putting on the second rectangle in the middle. Just because I didn't want such a span in between that one and that one, you know. But I don't want it too much down either because you don't want this to be flimsy on the top. You want it to be locked. But that's good. good enough. The bottom one, I'm going the way they said it, which is at the last one at the bottom, except I'm pushing it as high up as it's going to go when I tighten it. And my cousin is calling. 1 second. All right, let's go to the next one. I put one on the bottom. This is again where that another person would have been nice, but yeah, you don't need it. But no, you don't have to reach over. You know, it'll be like twice as fast if you had someone else to feed you this little screw through and hold the thing in a perfect position. But as you can see, it's not hard. And let me start already closing one of these sides. Now, how are you going to terminate this? It has to be the same way you did it over there. So if over there you're like that, you got to do it like that. If you terminate it this way, you get what I'm saying, that this is on the outside. You got to do the same. If not, it's going to be, you know, crooked. So on that one over there, the front wall is going over. So when you do this, make sure you do the same on both ends. Wrong part. There we go. And that part of that I keep on saying about nice to have another person is only for the bottom one, because the top one you reach over and you could do it easily, but the bottom one you got to put your fingers through the hole there. Let's see. I'm gonna fish it this way with the bolt already on. Maybe easier. Yep. Learn the new trick. Put it through with the bolt and everything. Don't try to put the bolt after the fact. It's easier. And then just realized you still gotta open that pack over there because I need one more. There's 3 in there. And what I'm doing is that I'm leaving 2 that I'm not gonna use. So, you know, I use 3 on this side, 3 over there, and then 2 and 2 instead of 3 and 3. So it's not gonna be like 3 all over to make a square. Let me get my snips to cut the tie straps. Now, I didn't want to cut that because I just wanted to leave it all together. But because I don't have a choice. But I'm not gonna cut from the top one because these cross beams for the top for when you're gonna put the roof, you know, that tarp, which I won't be doing. Those are zip tied to that front panel. So I'm going to leave that one. I'll take one from the back. And let me see this call. All right, out of the call. Let me finish. I had that phone call there, but let me finish putting this together. Cut this off here. And then the last thing will be the door. Oh, and I just got off with my cousin. It was $229. I thought it was just under 200, but still way cheaper than the 350, $450 ones. I gotta put the top one first. Easier. I forgot. I almost fought and struggled with that bottom one. And now the next part's gonna be the door. So the door is coming up. And this floor is not even, so it's gonna be a little bit off there, but we'll figure it out. It'll straighten out now and I'll tighten it up once it's perfectly straight. This little piece came off here. There he goes. So same thing with the door. That's the last panel on the side. You're gonna put in the same form, and you put the back one, which in this case I'm putting it in front, because you could also do it through the inside. You know, like that or like that. You know, where this one overlaps this one or the other one. Just make sure that they're the same. And I'm noticing here there's a hole. I haven't gotten that far yet, realistically, on the manual, but I could tell you right now, for what happened, you saw me with my foot kicking there, is that the system of hinge that it has, it came off, and I'll explain to you why, and that is probably there to put a pin so the door can't go up. I'll explain it now in a second. Let me get this in here. So to get the door off the hinge, if you pull up, it clears that. You see how it's off now down here? So, and then you could take it off completely. So once you have it on, it has to go down into that hole. I would think that you put a pin here so you can't pull up. Not that an animal can do that and pull up or anything like that, but it's just the way it's designed. Before I put the bottom on there, let me just hook this up here. This is part of the shop. It's not flat because I have to drain there. So it's putting me this at an angle, and it's not letting me tighten it up completely in the spot that I want to. And I want to at least have it hand tighten it where I want it to be, more or less. There it goes. So now let me put the bottom ones. And let me check what the temperature is going to be next couple of nights. All right, I'm gonna go inside and do the finishing touches. Now I could open this door. So suggest not to cut this onto the end so you don't have this door going all over the place. Then I gotta go around, not only tighten all of these, but put all the caps just like we did on the bottom. Put them all the way across the top. And that is very important. Putting those caps. I'm gonna tell you, if one thing is important is that, because if you have it outside and the water is gonna get into there, and because the cap is already on the bottom, it'll puddle water inside this tube, and that will create rust. And you don't want that. That's not good. So, perfect. Now I gotta make everything square, you know, because again, this floor here tilts towards the middle. So before I tighten it up completely, make it all square and tighten everything up. And first I'm gonna just start going around putting caps on the top though to get that over with. Mm-hmm. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I need 8 more of these caps. I keep on stepping on those tie straps. 5, 6, 7, 8. Done with the caps. Now let me see if I find that tool to put all those wing nuts quickly on. anywhere, it'll be in this drawer. So I was looking for my shutter bolt drawer. Sure enough. So let's hope that it fits this. Some of them have a little bit thicker, that little wing part. Yeah, the ones, 'cause I remember the ones that this came for. And I thought it wasn't gonna work when I started thinking about it. It's not. They were more flattened. That's why I said, let me see if it works. So this is the way it is, see? And it goes in there. But the ones that actually work, this is skinnier, more flat. So I guess I would have to get, which I'm not gonna do because this is a one-time thing, but you could get a socket, obviously, get the cutting disc and make it thicker, slice here than what's there. And then you'll be able to use, and probably with like a 12, 13, 14 millimeter socket, you'd get away with it. But I just do this by hand. It's not that bad. I mean, I already tightened them down. It's pretty significant amount, so. I was just being a little bit more productive if I could do it with that, but yeah, it's not gonna work. Could I sacrifice a socket? Yeah, but it'll take me longer to cut it because I have, sockets that are cheapy just for that, sacrificial ones. But it'll take me longer to do that than to go around tightening. Let me go look in the manual about that pin because I'm sure that has to have some type of pin or something there. Some type of cotter pin or something. Oh, yeah. So it was like 3 pages more. Towards the end, it shows here a pin going through. I gotta see where it's at. Oh, there's a latch for the door. I forgot about that altogether. That the door needed a latch. I would have found out when I had to put the dog in there and I had to lock the door. So it's not even a pin, it's just a little 1 inch long, very skinny, like 4 millimeter or something, very skinny Phillips bolt with a little nut. Basically, it's just to keep this from going up. Now it's gonna hit. Let me zoom in on that just so in case somebody's wondering what I'm talking about there. Right there. See a little bolt, the little nut in the back. That should have probably just came in installed. It's not like you could take up less space by not having it on, where things come in pieces, But I guess, they for the price, they don't want to have manpower here putting this together for you, so that makes sense. And I'm being lazy and didn't want to go get a screwdriver and an actual little wrench for here, an adjustable one or pliers. And I was trying to hold it with the snips and did it. So now this is good. Let me find out how this goes now, because I didn't even realize. Didn't even think about this lock. It went so fast I skipped it. Okay. Okay, so now the way this goes is this part up, not like this, because if not, obviously it stays hanging down. So it has to be like that. And then this U-bolt is gonna go right there through that slot, not through the hole here, through this slot up here. And it'll all attach to here. So you're gonna come like that, boom. Now the question is, how high do you want to put it in? The manual will tell you a specific spot, but it might not be what you think is best. For example, if you have a dog that when he puts his paws up, it's gonna be all the way up here. You don't want to have this too low because it'll bend it out. And if it's a little dog that's gonna put the weight here, you don't want to have it too high because then it'll bend the bottom out. And again, this is pretty solid. But I mean, eventually, like anything, and with enough pressure, things can go bad. So you want to put it strategically where it's going to be the best for you. I'm thinking for his dog, let's put it right around there. Yeah, I'm going to go with this here. It's a medium-sized dog. And I'll test it. See how it holds up. If anything, I could take it down. Let me see. Yeah, that looks good there. Kind of like right in the middle. For a medium-sized dog, I would say that works. Now I gotta tighten all those butterfly nuts up. Make this even first. Should be nice to have that part that I was talking about. Make my life easier than doing this by hand. You know what? And I might put that arc on the top with the cover, even though I don't need it, just to make this. Because I think now that I'm seeing how this goes, it's gonna lock it. It's gonna help a lot. That it's not gonna shake, I'm gonna have to put it. And I thought I was done. So because I don't have that tool to make it real tight, I'm gonna have to get some pliers. Because there's no way to twist these super tight with your hands. So I guess you will need one tool only. And it's a set of pliers really, because with the actual pliers, you could actually even hit these down. With a set of pliers, you do the whole setup. And not that you need it, but it makes it easier. I don't remember. Did I start on this one or which one? But on the bottom, let me start from the door so I don't forget. Yeah, I think I should make me that tool anyways, because then I gotta take it apart. I'm gonna get a socket and cut it. So I can have this with a drill. But this is not fun. At least when you've done it with the drill and you know how that goes super fast. Putting a socket on the drill, on a ratchet or whatever. Because I'll put it on the drill when I do that. These butterfly nuts on the shutters. I put it on the drill with that adapter that lets you put it on the drill, and it has a 3/8 socket piece, so I can hook up to a 3/8 socket. You know, the back end. I'm not talking about the measurement of the socket itself. Socket itself here is gonna have to be like a 13 or 14, I believe, to make it work with that slit. But the back end will be, you know how there's 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch. I think the best one here will be like using one of those 3/8 standard, most common one. All right, that is good. Now, I guess we are gonna put that roof thing. And though this is good, it's not even like flimsy. Still, let's lock it in. See how much work this will be, because I just don't want to do a lot of work when this is going to be taken apart. So it takes 4 of these sections. Maybe I just put 2. Yeah, one here, and not do the other one. You know, all 4 of them. So in the middle one over there, nah. I think we'll get away with 2, and let's see how it locks it in. We'll see. Let me get the snips again to end up cutting the zip ties that I didn't want to cut to not make that, you know, go apart. Oh. So it's 3, 2 sides. There's 3 types, 2 sides in the middle. And what is that straight one? Oh, because it has one that goes to lock it in across then too. I don't know if we're gonna use that one either. Let's see. So that one I would definitely have to use all 4, because it locks, it goes across the top. Let's see. And this is so temporary, and it's going to be in an enclosure that I don't think it's worth the trouble of putting it all 4 of these braces. So this goes in here. And this goes here. Let's go across. Damn, it doesn't even hold itself a little bit like that. Wow. Let me see something. Well, I'm thinking, it looks like that tube has to go. And the only way that it's going to hold on, so that the tube would have to go inside this pocket. I guess it gets squished by that. Let me see. So if that's the case, it gets squished also by this clamps. But this is round and that is not. So let me try to interpret this Chinese instructions here before I continue. See if they're more specific. Assemble the first section of the canopy. Put all those three pieces together. Spread assembly canopy into section into the frame. It shows it right there going in between. So I guess it does get squished. Let me go back and see. Attach the next panel using the concave bracket. I'm trying to see if it says from the beginning to tighten these up, because then there's no point in tightening these up if you got to open it again to slide that in. No. The way it makes it sound here is like you tighten it from the beginning, so that means that how is that supposed to just squeeze in there? There's no way. Well, first of all, I won't be able to use it side to side because I didn't use all the panels. So I would have to put it to hold from here to there, like a sideways here. Yeah, but what I want to know is, how does that get hooked up there? The only solution that I have is that it gets crimped in between those parts, which the instructions don't mention that. There's always something in the instructions that these people be missing. And this was it on this one. Everything was perfect until this little part. But yeah, that is the only solution, that it has to go squished in between those pieces that we put with the bolt and that little nut. Yeah, that's how it goes. So yeah, but I'm not gonna use it then. Again, this is pretty good. I don't have to use that. So no, we're not gonna put that piece on the top. No, when the dog lift this up, yes, smart dog can do it. So it's a little lock, but should have put this door on that side opening here, because obviously I've never done this before. This little lock now is on the inside. So either I had to put it over there if I wanted to open from the middle, or I had to put it here but opening from the side, because this lock only has this way, unless I decided to put the lock here better, which could be done too, but I'm not. I like it this better. I just reach in and put a little lock from here and set it. No big deal. So this is gonna go taken apart anyway soon, so in a couple of days. So yeah, that'll work. Yeah, this is good. Now let me see. To carry this is gonna have to be 4 of us at the same time, 1 in each corner. And I guess you could say this is a wrap. I'm not gonna continue to put the roof on it because I don't need it. I was just gonna do it to kind of like lock it in more, but it's not even necessary for my application. But for anybody building this, I'm gonna tell you right now that based on what I saw, I'll show you, I'll zoom in and I'll show you how I believe this is gonna go. Let me get that piece. Let me show you how I see this attaching. So basically, the way it's gonna attach is gonna be, and if somebody sees something different, send me a message, but when it goes down, where are you gonna put it? It's gonna have to go in here. You're gonna have to back that nut off, go in there, and it's gonna squish it because it says to put it in the frame like this. It shows, the picture shows it going in between, these gaps, which are like an inch gap. So that's not gonna hold on to anything. So it has to be that this goes into there about 1/2 inch or a little bit more, where it'll bottom out of that bolt. And then that gap that's here is perfectly enough to where it's gonna squish this like 1/8 of an inch. So it looks to me that I would have liked it if they would have, but obviously it's more, everything makes everything more expensive, the more things you have to do it. But if this would have come like squared off to fit in there, it would have been more common sense. But then again, also, it might not tighten as good as it being round, and then when you squish it, it actually deforming it into a little bit of 2 flat sides, kind of, and holding it in. So it makes sense to leave it like that, I guess. Unless they were to have in there welded a little slot that was round for this to go in, which is, again, more manufacturing, price goes up. So this is like perfect right there because it's really like 1/8 of an inch difference, which is what it's gonna collapse it into or squish it a little bit. And that way it'll be perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much at least my 10 cents of how that goes. And then once you have those on, then you do those arcs. Then there's, besides those 3 pieces, there's one side, the top, that is like a upside down V, and then the side that goes down again over there, the same way that one I was showing you goes in there. Then it has one straight rod that comes in, I think like 3 or 4 pieces probably 3 pieces, that goes across the middle to lock in all those pyramids. It'll lock them in all together, and then you put the tarp on top. And that's how you build this nice kennel. If you have any questions, send me a message, subscribe, comment, give it a like, and I'll catch you on the next one.